You know, right now in this very moment, something extraordinary is happening within you. There's a divine intelligence that's beating your heart, digesting your food, growing your hair, and healing every cut and bruise without you having to think about it. That same intelligence that created you, that breathed life into your body, that force that some call God, the universe, the divine, or the Tao, that force has never left you. It has never abandoned you, and it never will. But here's what happens to most of us. We forget. We get so caught up in the drama of our daily lives, so consumed by our problems, so focused on what's going wrong, that we lose sight of this incredible truth. The same power that created worlds, that put the stars in the sky, that makes flowers bloom and seasons change, that power lives within you. And when you truly understand this, when you really get it in your bones, everything changes. Now, I want to talk to you about faith. Real faith, not the kind of faith where you're just hoping things will get better while you sit around worrying. I'm talking about the kind of faith that transforms your life completely, the kind of faith that changes everything for the better. Because when you have true faith in the divine, when you trust in this higher power that flows through all of life, you stop living in fear. You stop trying to control every little thing. You stop exhausting yourself with worry and anxiety, and you start living the way you were meant to live. See, most people think faith means believing in something you can't see, and that's part of it, sure, but real faith is so much more than that. Real faith is knowing, not just believing, but knowing that you are connected to an infinite source of wisdom, love, and power. Real faith is understanding that you are not separate from God. You are an expression of God. You are a piece of the divine having a human experience. Think about it this way. When you look at an ocean wave, you don't say that wave is separate from the ocean, do you? No. That wave is the ocean. It's made of the same water, the same substance. It rises and falls, it crashes on the shore, but it's still the ocean. You are like that wave. You're not separate from the divine source. You are an individualized expression of it. And when you realize this, when you really feel it in your heart, everything shifts. The problem is, we've been taught to see ourselves as separate. We've been taught that God is up there somewhere, far away, judging us, keeping score, deciding whether we're worthy. But that's not how it works. That's not the nature of the divine. The divine doesn't judge you. The divine doesn't punish you. The divine is pure love, pure creative energy, and it's always flowing toward you, through you, as you. So when I say God will change everything for the better, I'm not talking about some external deity who's going to come down and fix your problems. I'm talking about aligning yourself with the divine flow that's already present in your life. I'm talking about getting out of your own way and letting that infinite intelligence work through you. Because here's the truth. God is always working for your highest good. Always. But you have to be open to it. You have to have faith in it. You have to stop resisting it with your doubts and fears and limited thinking. You see, when you don't have faith, when you're living in fear and worry, you're blocking the flow. It's like trying to fill a cup that's turned upside down. The water is pouring down, the blessings, the opportunities, the miracles, but you can't receive them because you're not open. Your lack of faith, your constant anxiety about the future, your obsession with what could go wrong, all of that creates a barrier between you and the infinite goodness that wants to come into your life. But when you have faith, real faith, you turn that cup right side up. You open yourself. You say, I trust. I know that. Everything is working out for my highest good. I know that even when I can't see the whole picture, there's a divine plan unfolding. I know that I am supported, I am loved, I am guided. And when you do that, when you live from that place of trust and faith, miracles start happening. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, but you don't know what I'm going through. You don't know how hard my life is. You don't understand my problems. And you're right, I don't know your specific circumstances. But I do know this, whatever you're facing, no matter how difficult it seems, you have within you the power to transcend it. You have access to infinite wisdom and strength. And when you have faith in the divine, when you trust in that higher power, you tap into resources you didn't even know existed. Let me tell you something. Every single challenge you're facing right now, every problem, every obstacle is ever, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. The divine doesn't make mistakes. There are no accidents in the universe. Everything that comes into your life is an opportunity for growth, for learning, for expansion. But you have to have the faith to see it that way. When you're going through a difficult time, when things seem to be falling apart, that's not the universe punishing you. That's not God being cruel. That's life reorganizing itself to bring you something better. Those doors that are closing, they're closing because there's a better door waiting to open. That job you lost it because you're being redirected towards something more aligned with your true purpose. That relationship that ended, it ended because you're being prepared for something deeper, more authentic, more fulfilling. But you have to have faith to see this. You have to trust the process. You have to believe that there's a higher intelligence at work, even when your human mind can't understand it, because your mind is limited. Your mind only sees what's proper, right in front of you. Your mind worries and analyzes and tries to control, but your soul knows better. Your soul understands that you're connected to something infinite, something eternal, something that has your back no matter what. This is what faith really means. Faith means trusting that you are always being guided toward your highest good, even when the path isn't clear. Faith means knowing that you are never alone, that you are always supported by a loving universe. Faith means surrendering your need to control everything and allowing life to flow through you naturally. And when you live with this kind of faith, everything changes. I mean, everything. Your stress level drops because you're not carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders anymore. Your anxiety decreases because you're not constantly worrying about the future. Your relationships improve because you're coming from a place of love and trust instead of fear and neediness. Your health improves because your body isn't being destroyed by chronic stress and worry. Opportunities start appearing out of nowhere because you're open and receptive instead of closed off and defensive. This is what happens when you have faith in the divine. This is what happens when you trust in something greater than yourself. Everything gets better. Not because your external circumstances necessarily change overnight, but because you change. Your perception changes. Your energy changes. Your vibration changes. And when you change, your whole world changes. Now, here's something really important I want you to understand. Having faith doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It doesn't mean you just wait around for God to drop blessings into your lap. No. Faith requires action, but it's inspired action, not desperate action. It's action that comes from a place of trust and confidence, not from a place of fear and lack. When you have faith, you take action because you feel called to, not because you're afraid of what will happen if you don't. You pursue your dreams with enthusiasm and joy, not with anxiety and desperation. You serve others from a place of abundance, not from a place of obligation. You make decisions based on what feels right in your heart, not based on what other people think you should do. This is the difference between living with faith and living without it. Without faith, you're constantly pushing, struggling, forcing things to happen. You're exhausted all the time because you think you have to do everything yourself. You think you have to figure it all out. You think you have to make it happen. And that's a heavy burden to carry. But with faith, you're co-creating with the divine. You're doing your part, taking the actions that are yours to take, but you're also trusting that the universe is doing its part too. You're planting the seeds, but you're not digging them up every day to see if they're growing. You're doing the work, but you're not attached to specific outcomes. You're showing up fully, but you're also allowing the divine to work through you in ways you could never plan or predict. This is what it means to have faith. This is what it means to trust in God, in the universe, in the infinite intelligence that created all things. And when you live this way, when you truly surrender to this higher power while still taking inspired action, miracles happen. Synchronicities occur. The right people show up at the right time. Resources appear when you need them. Solutions present themselves. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. But here's the thing, and this is crucial. You have to maintain your faith even when things don't seem to be working out, especially when things don't seem to be working out, because that's when faith really matters. Anyone can have faith when everything is going well. The real test of faith comes when you're in the middle of the storm, when everything looks dark, when you can't see the way forward. That's when you have to dig deep. That's when you have to remember who you really are. That's when you have to remind yourself that you are not alone, that you are never alone, that there is a divine presence within you and all around you that is always working for your highest good. That's when you have to choose faith over fear, trust over doubt, love over anxiety. And I'm telling you, when you make that choice, when you choose faith in those dark moments, that's when the real transformation happens. That's when you grow. That's when you evolve. That's when you step into a new level of consciousness and understanding. Because faith isn't just about feeling good when things are easy. Faith is about knowing that you're okay even when things are hard. Faith is about trusting the process even when the process is uncomfortable. You know what most people do? They pray. They ask God for help. They say, please change my circumstances. Please fix this problem. Please make this situation better. And there's nothing wrong with that. Prayer is powerful. But here's what I want you to understand. God's answer to your prayers is already within you. The solution to your problem is already inside you. The strength you need, the wisdom you need, the courage you need, it's all already there, waiting to be accessed. When you pray, you're not asking an external God to do something for you. You're aligning yourself with the divine intelligence that's already within you. You're opening yourself up to receive the guidance and inspiration that's always flowing to you. You're removing the blocks that your own fear and doubt have created. You're reminding yourself of your connection to the infinite source of all good. And when you do this, when you truly connect with that divine presence within you, you realize that you already have everything you need. You realize that you are enough. You realize that you are powerful beyond measure. You realize that you are loved unconditionally. And from that place of realization, from that place of faith and trust, you naturally begin to move in directions that are aligned with your highest good. This is how God changes everything for the better. Not by waving a magic wand and making all your problems disappear, but by reminding you of who you really are, by awakening you to your own divine nature, by helping you see that you are not a powerless victim of circumstances, you are a powerful creator, connected to the source of all creation. Let me tell you about something I've seen happen countless times. People come to me and they say, my life is falling apart. Everything is going wrong. I don't know what to do. And I tell them the same thing I'm telling you now. Have faith. Trust the process. Know that this is not the end. It's a new beginning. Know that what looks like destruction is actually reconstruction. Know that the divine is not punishing you. It's redirecting you towards something better. And you know what happens? When they truly embrace this mindset, when they truly have faith in the process, their whole experience changes. Not necessarily immediately, not necessarily in the way they expected, but it changes. New opportunities appear, new perspectives open up, new strength emerges from within them. They discover resources they didn't know they had. They find peace in the midst of chaos. They experience joy even in difficult circumstances. This is the power of faith. This is what happens when you truly trust in the divine. This is how God changes everything for the better. Because when you have faith, you stop resisting life. You stop fighting against what is. You stop trying to control the uncontrollable. And in that surrender, in that letting go, you actually become more powerful than ever before. You see, real power doesn't come from control. Real power comes from alignment. Real power comes from surrendering to the divine flow and allowing it to move through you. Real power comes from trusting that you are exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, experiencing exactly what you need to experience in order to grow into the fullest expression of who you really are. And that's what this is all about. That's what your life is about. You're not here to just survive. You're not here to just get by. You're not here to play it safe and avoid risks and stay comfortable. You're here to grow. You're here to evolve. You're here to become the highest version of yourself. You're here to express your unique gifts and talents. You're here to love deeply and serve generously and live fully. But you can't do that without faith. You can't step into your greatness while you're paralyzed by fear. You can't fulfill your purpose while you're consumed by doubt. You can't create the life you're meant to live while you're clinging to control and worrying about every little thing. You have to let go. You have to trust. You have to have faith that there's a benevolent force in the universe that wants you to succeed, that wants you to thrive, that wants you to experience joy and peace and abundance. And that force is not separate from you. That force is you. It's the truest part of you. It's your divine essence. When you connect with that essence, when you align with that divine nature within you, everything shifts. Your thoughts change. Instead of thinking thoughts of fear and limitation, you start thinking thoughts of possibility and expansion. Your feelings change. Instead of feeling anxious and worried, you start feeling peaceful and confident. Your actions change. Instead of acting from desperation and need, you start acting from inspiration and love. And as your inner world changes, your outer world must change too. This is a law of the universe. What's within is reflected without. What you believe on the inside manifests on the outside. When you have faith, when you trust in the divine, when you know that you are supported and guided and loved, that knowing creates your reality. I want you to think about the areas of your life where you're struggling right now. Maybe it's your finances. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your relationships. Maybe it's your career. Whatever it is, I want you to ask yourself, do I have faith in this area? Am I trusting that things are working out for my highest good? Or am I living in fear and doubt? Because here's the truth. Where there's fear, there can be no faith. And where there's no faith, there can be no miracles. Fear blocks the flow of good into your life. Fear keeps you stuck in patterns that don't serve you. Fear makes you hold on to things you should let go of and push away things you should welcome in. But faith does the opposite. Faith opens you up. Faith allows you to receive. Faith helps you let go of what's not working so that something better can come in. Faith gives you the courage to take risks, to try new things, to step out of your comfort zone. Faith helps you see opportunities where others see obstacles. Faith gives you peace in the midst of uncertainty. So if you want God to change everything for the better, if you want your life to transform in miraculous ways, you have to choose faith every day, every moment. Every time fear tries to creep in, you have to choose faith instead. Every time doubt tries to take hold, you have to choose faith instead. Every time worry tries to consume you, you have to choose faith instead. And I'm not saying this is easy, I know it's not. Choosing faith when everything around you seems to be falling apart, that takes courage, that takes strength, that takes commitment. But you have that courage within you, you have that strength, you have everything you need to make this choice. Because remember, you're not doing this alone. The divine is with you. The universe is supporting you. There's an infinite intelligence that's always guiding you toward your highest good. You just have to be willing to listen. You just have to be willing to trust. You just have to be willing to have faith. And when you do, when you really commit to living with faith, you'll start to notice things. You'll notice that the right book falls into your hands at exactly the right time. You'll notice that you run into someone who has exactly the information you need. You'll notice that solutions to problems you've been struggling with suddenly become clear. You'll notice that doors you've been knocking on finally open. You'll notice that life starts flowing more easily, more naturally, more joyfully. These aren't coincidences. These are the natural result of living with faith. These are the ways that the divine responds to your trust and openness. These are the miracles that happen when you align yourself with the infinite intelligence of the universe. Now, I want to talk about something that stops a lot of people from having faith. It's the idea that they're not worthy. They think, how can God help me? I've made so many mistakes. I've done so many things wrong. I'm not good enough. I'm not spiritual enough. I don't deserve blessings. If this is you, if these are your thoughts, I want you to listen carefully to what I'm about to say. You are worthy. Period. You don't have to earn God's love. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to be perfect. You are worthy simply because you exist. The divine created you, and everything the divine creates is worthy of love, support, and blessings. Your mistakes don't make you unworthy. Your past doesn't make you unworthy. Your failures don't make you unworthy. In fact, all of those things are part of your growth. All of those experiences have brought you to this moment, to this realization, to this awakening. They've all been necessary parts of your path. So let go of the idea that you're not good enough. Let go of the belief that you don't deserve good things. Let go of the thought that God only helps perfect people, because none of us are perfect. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have things we're working on. And the divine loves us anyway. The divine supports us anyway. The divine wants us to thrive anyway. Your worthiness is inherent. It's built into the very fabric of your being. You are a child of the divine, an expression of infinite love, a piece of God itself. How could you not be worthy? How could you not deserve the best that life has to offer? So have faith in your worthiness. Have faith that you deserve good things. Have faith that the universe wants to bless you, wants to support you, wants to help you succeed. Because it does. The divine is not withholding anything from you. You are withholding from yourself through your lack of faith, through your doubts, through your limiting beliefs. Let me share something with you. There's a part of you that already knows everything I'm saying is true. There's a part of you that already has complete faith. It's your higher self, your divine nature, your soul. That part of you never doubts. That part of you always trusts. That part of you always knows that everything is working out perfectly. The problem is, most of us are so identified with our human self, with our ego, with our thinking mind, that we can't hear the wisdom of our higher self. We're so caught up in our fears and worries and doubts that we can't feel the faith that's already present within us. But it's there. It's always been there. And it's always available to you. All you have to do is get quiet. All you have to do is go within. All you have to do is connect with that deeper part of yourself, that divine part that knows the truth of who you are. This is what meditation does. This is what prayer does. This is what spending time in nature does. These practices help you quiet your busy mind and connect with your higher self. They help you access the faith that's already within you. They help you remember who you really are. And when you do this regularly, when you make it a practice to connect with your divine nature every day, faith becomes natural. It's not something you have to work at or struggle with. It's just who you are. It's just how you live. You naturally trust in the goodness of life. You naturally believe that things are working out. You naturally feel supported and guided and loved. This is the state you're meant to live in. This is your natural state. Faith isn't something foreign or difficult. Faith is your birthright. It's the natural result of knowing who you really are and understanding your connection to the divine. So how do you get there? How do you develop this kind of faith? How do you maintain it when life gets challenging? Let me give you some practical guidance. First, start your day by connecting with the divine. Before you check your phone, before you turn on the news, before you start thinking about your to-do list, take a few moments to go within. Take some deep breaths. Feel the presence of the divine within you and all around you. Say a prayer of gratitude. Acknowledge that you are loved, supported, and guided. Set the intention to live this day with faith and trust. This simple practice will change your entire day. It will anchor you in faith before the challenges of the day have a chance to pull you into fear. It will remind you of who you really are before the world tries to tell you who you should be. It will connect you with your source before you get distracted by all the demands on your attention. Second, pay attention to your thoughts throughout the day. Notice when fear and doubt try to creep in. Notice when you start worrying about the future or regretting the past. Notice when you start thinking thoughts that don't serve you. And when you notice these thoughts, don't judge yourself for having them. Just gently redirect your mind back to faith. You can do this by asking yourself questions like, what would I think about this situation if I had complete faith? How would I feel about this if I trusted that everything is working out for my highest good? What would I do differently if I knew that the divine was guiding me? These questions help you shift from fear to faith, from doubt to trust. They help you see your situation from a higher perspective. They help you access the wisdom of your higher self instead of the worry of your ego. Third, look for evidence of the divine in your life. Start noticing the miracles that are already happening. The fact that your heart is beating right now without you having to think about it, that's a miracle. The fact that you have the ability to read these words and understand them, that's a miracle. The fact that you've survived every difficult day you've ever had, that's a miracle. When you start looking for evidence of the divine, you'll find it everywhere. And the more you notice it, the stronger your faith becomes. You start to see that you've always been supported, you've always been guided, you've always been loved. And that knowing strengthens your faith for whatever is coming next. Fourth, practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to shift from fear to faith. When you're feeling anxious or worried, stop and list things you're grateful for. Not just big things, but small things too. The warm cup of coffee in your hands, the comfortable chair you're sitting in, the friend who called to check on you, the sunset you saw last night. Gratitude reminds you that even in difficult times, there is still good in your life. It reminds you that the divine is still blessing you. It reminds you that you are still supported. And from that place of gratitude, faith flows naturally. Fifth, surround yourself with people who have faith. Your environment matters. If you're constantly around people who are fearful, negative, and doubtful, it's going to be harder for you to maintain faith. But if you surround yourself with people who trust in the divine, who see the good in every situation, who believe in miracles, their faith will strengthen yours. You become like the people you spend the most time with. So choose wisely. Seek out people who lift you up, who inspire you, who remind you of your divine nature, and be that person for others too. Share your faith, share your trust, share your experiences of how the divine has worked in your life. Sixth, take inspired action. Faith without action is incomplete. When you feel called to do something, when you get an intuitive hit, when you have an idea that excites you, act on it. Don't wait for all the conditions to be perfect. Don't wait until you have it all figured out. Don't wait until you're not afraid anymore. Trust that nudge. Trust that inspiration. Know that it's coming from the divine within you. And here's the beautiful thing. When you take action from a place of faith, from a place of trust, you don't have to worry about the outcome. You're not attached to specific results. You're just following your guidance, doing your part, and trusting that the universe will handle the rest. This is the kind of action that creates miracles. This is the kind of action that opens doors you didn't even know existed. This is the kind of action that leads you to your highest good, even when you can't see how it's all going to work out. Seventh, be patient. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. Developing deep faith is a process. There will be days when it comes easily and days when it's harder. There will be times when you feel completely connected to the divine and times when you feel lost and alone. This is all part of the process. Don't judge yourself on the hard days. Don't think you're doing it wrong when doubt creeps in. Just keep choosing faith. Keep returning to trust. Keep connecting with the divine within you. Keep taking inspired action. Keep practicing gratitude. Keep looking for miracles. Over time, faith becomes your default setting. It becomes who you are. It becomes as natural as breathing. And when that happens, when faith is no longer something you have to work at, but simply the way you live, that's when you truly experience how God changes everything for the better. Because at that point, you're not just hoping things will improve. You're not just believing they might get better. You know they will. You know that you are always being guided toward your highest good. You know that every challenge is an opportunity. You know that every closed door leads to a better door. You know that you are loved, supported, and blessed beyond measure. And from that place of knowing, from that place of complete faith and trust, you become a magnet for miracles. You become a channel for divine blessings. You become an expression of the infinite love and abundance that's always flowing through the universe. Your life transforms. Not necessarily in the ways you expected, not necessarily according to your timeline, but in the ways that are absolutely perfect for your growth, your evolution, your highest good. The divine knows what you need better than you do. The universe has a plan for you that's far greater than anything you could imagine with your limited human mind. So have faith in that plan. Have faith in that process. Have faith that even when you can't see the whole picture, even when things don't make sense, even when life is challenging, you are exactly where you need to be. You are learning what you need to learn. You are becoming who you need to become. This is what I want you to take away from everything I've shared with you today. You are not alone. You have never been alone. You will never be alone. The divine is with you always, in you always, as you always. And when you have faith in that truth, when you trust in that presence, when you surrender to that infinite intelligence, everything changes. Your stress dissolves because you're not trying to control everything anymore. Your anxiety fades because you're not worrying about the future. Your depression lifts because you're not dwelling on the past. Your relationships improve because you're coming from love instead of fear. Your health improves because your body isn't being poisoned by chronic stress. Your finances improve because you're open to receiving. Your career flourishes because you're following your true calling. Everything gets better. Not because your circumstances magically change, but because you change. Your consciousness shifts, your energy shifts, your vibration shifts, and as within, so without. As you change on the inside, your outer world must reflect that change. This is the power of faith. This is how God changes everything for the better, through you, as you, by awakening you to your own divine nature, by reminding you of who you really are, by helping you see that you are not a small, limited, powerless human being at the mercy of circumstances. You are an infinite, powerful, creative expression of the divine itself. And when you live from that truth, when you operate from that level of consciousness, when you have unwavering faith in your connection to the source of all creation, ITZ, there is nothing you cannot do, nothing you cannot be, nothing you cannot experience. The universe becomes your playground. Life becomes an adventure. Every day becomes a miracle. So I invite you, right here, right now, to make a commitment to yourself. Commit to living with faith. Commit to trusting in the divine. Commit to knowing that you are loved, supported, and guided every step of the way. Commit to choosing faith over fear, trust over doubt, love over anxiety. Make this commitment not just once, but every single day. Wake up and choose faith. Throughout the day, choose faith. When challenges arise, choose faith. When doubt creeps in, choose faith. When fear tries to take hold, choose faith. And watch what happens. Watch how your life begins to transform. Watch how miracles start appearing. Watch how doors open. Watch how solutions present themselves. Watch how you become stronger, wiser, more peaceful, more joyful. This is your birthright. This is what you're meant to experience. This is the abundant, blessed, miraculous life that the divine wants for you. And all you have to do is have faith in it. All you have to do is trust in it. All you have to do is open yourself up to receive it. The power is within you right now. The divine is within you right now. Everything you need is within you right now. Have faith in that. Trust in that. Know that. And let that knowing guide you forward into the extraordinary life that awaits you. God will change everything for the better. Not someday in the future, but right now, in this very moment. As you read these words, as you feel the truth of them resonating in your heart, change is already happening. Transformation is already occurring. You are already becoming more aligned with your divine nature, more connected to the source of all good, more open to receiving the blessings that have always been yours. Have faith in this process. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the divine. And know that from this moment forward, everything is changing for the better, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Not because you've earned it, but because it's your natural state. Not because you're lucky, but because you are loved beyond measure by a universe that wants nothing more than for you to thrive. This is the truth. This is the way. This is the path to a life of peace, joy, abundance, and miracles. Walk it with faith, and watch as God changes everything for the better.